I don't think I thought too far ahead. And then they just kept scoring and scoring and scoring, and we're just trying to keep up with changes and pitching changes and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, wait a second, here he is again. And it's like the doorstep of history. And you're like, okay, now what? What do we do? And I think that in the back of my mind, I always think to myself, whatever you do, just don't screw it up and get out of the way.
And I'm in love with this good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top and keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life. Good life. Oh, good life. Good life. Good life.
Boom! Coming in hot, Chichi, on a big one today, brother. What's going on?
Holy Stromboli, dude. Like, listen, we're going to get into this a lot later, but you kind of called this could possibly have happened last night. But I am, right now, Sean, I am kind of speechless. I'm speechless.
We did kind of call this yesterday. We were talking about, really he's one game away because, he hit 2 home runs. You can do that. You could steal a bag. When he was 3 away, you're like, but then he ended up hitting, Shohei ends up hitting 3, which is absolutely incredible. So we did call it. It happened. But I tell you what would be even more incredible, brother, if you were actually in the booth doing the play-by-play for the call. And we have one of the best calls we think that will go down in history for Shohei's 50-50. Listen up.
Ball and 2 strikes. Fly ball left field. 50-50. A season we have never seen before from a player we may never see again.
What a call right there from our man, our friend, Paul Severino, who does the play-by-play for the Marlins. What an incredible call. And we just happen to have Paulie joining us today inside the mayor's office, dude. What's up, Paul? How you doing, brother?
God. You guys are the best. You guys are seriously the best. I have been watching you bits and pieces of this all over social media and everything else, and listening to you guys for however long you've been doing this. I love you guys both on and off the air, so it's my pleasure. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Paulie, dude, you're the best, man. You are the greatest. We worked all those years at MLB Network together. Then you took the job with the Marlins, and you're one of obviously the best play-by-play guys in that booth. But what a call, dude. What a call. Take us through it. Like, did you think, because Chinch and I were on yesterday, we're like, well, he could do it, but you guys are in the last game of the set with the Dodgers. He needs 2 home runs to do it in a bag. Were you prepared for that call? Did you think about it before going into it? Did you have some stuff scripted?
No, and I think a lot of broadcasters who have the opportunity to call a big moment, a Super Bowl, a Masters, a World Series, whatever it is, I think you'll hear from a lot of broadcasters that say, no, it's whatever comes to you in the moment. I know in the past, you leading up to a postseason berth or whatever it might have been, sometimes you might try to formulate some words to kind of encapsulate it, maybe on your drive into the ballpark or something like that, and just work it out a little bit and say, if it happens cleanly, that might be where I go. But even though we knew it, I mean, he was 48 home runs and 49 stolen bases going into the day. Even though you knew it was going to take a historic day for him to get there, I don't think I really had my brain wrapped around the fact that he could do it. Like, I still thought, even after the ringing double in the first inning that he had, like, he's just going to inch closer. They're going back home for 6. Like, he's probably going to end up doing it at home, and that'd be great, and the place would be rocking 50+ thousand at Dodger Stadium, and it would have been great, and anything we've been able to witness for 3 days would have been gravy. So I don't think I thought too far ahead, And then they just kept scoring and scoring and scoring, and we're just trying to keep up with changes and pitching changes and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, wait a second, here he is again. And it's like the doorstep of history. And you're like, okay, now what? What do we do? And I think that in the back of my mind, I always think to myself, whatever you do, just don't screw it up and get out of the way. Just get out of the way.
Dude, how hard is that with all of that emotion and you're part of that moment to do? You did it perfectly, dude. The layout after saying he hit the home run and led him round the bases without just spewing something out of your mouth. How difficult is that?
Thank you, by the way. I appreciate that. I think it's gotten a little easier because I think the first opportunity as a broadcaster that you have to call a big moment, you probably do that, and you talk the guy around the bases, and you make it about you, and then at the end of the call, you're like, and my name's Paul Severino, and it's like, like that. You don't want to do that. So I think for me, it's just, first of all, I don't care if it's a 7-1 game in the 5th inning in June. Rule of thumb for me, most of the time as a TV broadcaster, I like to be done with whatever the heck it is that I'm saying by the time the guy gets to second base. Just out of habit. Like, get it out, high fly ball, left field, what a shot, his 20th of the year, and it's 5-1. And then the guy touches second base, and you just kind of shut up, and then he touches home plate and high fives, and then the replay starts and the analyst jumps in. Like, generally speaking, that's kind of how I think of it. But in a moment like that, less is always more. I tell you for sure, I will, and maybe none of us will ever do it the way Scully did it. But Scully was as good as there's ever been at just putting a caption on a moment. And you hear these stories of, I don't know if it was the Kirk Gibson home run in the World Series or Hank Aaron, hitting 715 and passing Ruth, that Scully made the call, said what he said, got up, went to the back of the booth, and just started sipping a cup of coffee as everybody rounded the bases and high fives and everything else. And as a TV broadcaster, knowing that that's my little bit of the moment, but what else you'll see is our director, Christian Roberts, went to work last night, and he's one of the best that's ever done this. And our camera guys were up to the moment as well, and all of the different cuts and the shots and the close-ups and the fans and the pans and all of the stuff that was going on. Again, just from my perspective, just get out of the way. Don't screw it up, and let the other geniuses from a production side go to work.
Paulie, that's awesome, dude, because that's not easy to do. I've been in the booth before. I've been in the booth for no-hitter, Homer Bailey's no-hitter. I've been in the booth for a lot of different things.
You're excitable? Really? I don't believe it.
Like, me, dude. No. I'm like, pull back. I'm reining myself back, But I think as the color guy, you're really following the lead of the play-by-play. So as soon as you lay out, obviously the color guys got to lay out too. I just thought, like, when you made that call when he hit 50-50 and talking about history, and you laid out and you let the crowd, the crowd play there and on TV, dude, it gave you the chills. But, dude, your line, honestly, this has to go down as one of the greatest lines ever, I think, when you look back at this night. One of the greatest nights in the history of the game. 6 for 6, 10 RBIs. What he did, 3 home runs, 50-50, first player ever. What an incredible line you have. And I'm like, when I heard it, I was like, Paul must have thought of that beforehand. He must have been writing this down every time. But you said when he crossed home plate, and you talked about your cameraman did a great job of kind of zooming in on Shohei as he was high-fiving. You said, I have the chills saying it, a season we have never seen before from a player we may never see again. I mean, that's incredible line, dude. From a player we may never see again. That is so incredible. Was that on the fly, dude?
I am embarrassed to say yes.
Embarrassed.
Man, own that. Own it.
Wow, that was incredible.
It's like, the broadcasting gods shine down upon me, I guess. I don't know. Again, like, you try to find the words and again, get in, get out, and sum it up, and less is always more. Unrelated to this, but a great moment and a great learning moment for me early on. I think it was 2019. We had a player named Isan Diaz, and he made his major league debut. And he grew up in Massachusetts. We're playing the Mets. He's facing Jacob deGrom. We're in New York, and his dad's there. Major league debut. His dad's there, and our sideline reporter, maybe the third, fourth inning, whatever it was, is interviewing his dad. And he hadn't gotten his first big league hit yet. So we're, in the break, we're kind of talking. Okay, Craig Minervini, our sideline reporter. Okay, Craig, you're going to talk to the dad. If he gets his first hit, Craig, lay out, let Paul get the call. We'll get back to you, the whole thing, fine. So he's in the middle of talking to his dad, and Isan Diaz hits a home run off of Jacob deGrom. And they lay out. And I go on talk back to my producer, and I said, I'm not saying a word. I'm just going to make it worse. And I think it was a moment like that that helped me in a moment like yesterday, because all I would have done there was screw that up. So by Craig holding the microphone up to his dad, and his dad going nuts and yeah, and screaming and yelling for 5 minutes and the whole thing, it was way better than anything I could have formulated over 6 months of preparing. And I was grateful that I had that presence of mind to do that then, because, the next day it's on Good Morning America and the Today Show and Sports Center and MLB Network and all these things. It's everywhere. And if I had stepped on that emotion just to say, well, it's his first big league home run, yay! Like, it would have made a great moment, tarnished it, basically. So I think it was a moment like that where knowing, again, the only thing I can do is screw it up for someone else, for the moment, for history. I was glad I was able to find the right 10, 15 words to say and get them out cleanly.
Isn't that so cool, Paulie? Because I really believe the adage I always tell my kids that I was taught to, like, you can't teach experience. I think back when I was in the '99, not the wild card game, the one game 163 against Al Leiter, and he punched me out with a guy on third. I had a terrible game, 0-4. I was so anxious, excited, and that doesn't work. And then fast forward 7 years later, I'm in the World Series. And I'm like, wow, I got to take what I learned from that one, from the time I was in a playoff game with the Reds. And I was able, at that time in my career, 9 years in, I was able to slow down for the moment. I was able to live in the moment, be present. And so I think about you, like, you were part of one of the greatest games in the history of the game last night, 6 for 6, Ohtani, 10 RBIs. But you've been around the block. You've had moments where, so when the biggest moment came for you, almost like a World Series moment, you were ready for it. I just know that experience. You can't teach that.
Yeah, I think we've all crossed paths with him in varying ways, but Derek Jeter is the first guy that comes to my mind. His playoff numbers were just as good, if not better, than his regular season numbers, and he said it's still the same game, and that's kind of it. And I think that once you kind of live it once, and you're like, wait a second, I've called a home run before. Right. This one's different in terms of history and all that other stuff, but just call the home run, make it clean, step aside, and let my director go to work. And again, I think that whether that's a walk-off home run, or a leadoff home run, or a game in spring training, like, everybody in these moments, obviously it's Shohei's moment, don't get me wrong, but like the broadcasters, TV, radio, home, road, international in a moment like this, but there are so many different parts, as I mentioned before, so many different pieces that are all encompassed in this whole moment, and everybody's got a little job to do. To make it so that the fans can live this forever. And on our side, on the Marlins TV side, I'm proud of the way that we handled it.
What
I'm
was
proud
it?
of you too, man.
Yeah, so proud of you, Paulie. What was it like in the stadium, bro? Like, what was it like there when after he hit his first one? Could you feel a little buzz in the air after he hit that first home run?
Insanely depressed. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about all the people that lined up in right field, hoping that it was going to be a full homer. Oh my gosh. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So the Dodgers are there for 3. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, we don't have the biggest crowds, obviously, but we had a pretty decent crowd for 3 days there. And there's pockets, right? We've all been to games. It's behind home plate, and then it fans out and everything. Right field looked like opening ceremony is the Olympics for 3 days. And the fact that this home run goes to left into the bar, into the club where there's lights and booze,
Goes into
and
the Cleveland.
it's like, whoa, like they were not expecting any of this. And it's like some guy just got $12 million worth of baseball into his nachos. It's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I used your line too, because we showed the shot again, and one guy went head over heels, and I go, yard sale. It was unbelievable. Oh man, it was great. It was great. But yes, there was absolutely a buzz in the ballpark. Again, it happens all the time in LA. It probably happens all across the country. But we're getting ready for our open, and you're getting your microphone and everything, headset plugged in, and your paperwork ready and everything else, and you just hear rah! And then I look down, and it's Ohtani coming out of the dugout before first pitch.
Wow.
Like you knew that there was somebody special in the ballpark. We knew that for 3 days, and again, just blessed to be. It's such a small part of that moment.
Paulie, we were talking about before we came on. We were talking about that he almost had a chance at the cycle. I don't think people realize that he almost. Can you take us back to that the ball when he went for 3, and you look back now, you're like, oh my gosh, he could have, if he was safe, he could have got it.
So he hits, I think it was like 114.6 off the bat. This clothesline of a line drive into the right center field gap in the first inning. And it was a home run in 13 ballparks, according to StatCast. One of them was Dodger Stadium. So that's when you kind of knew something was going to happen. So he hits this laser beam, and that's his first hit. Then he steals third, 50. Here we go. Now it's just clear the deck. We're 2 homers away. So he steals third, and he gets to 50. So then his next at-bat, he gets a base hit. And then his third at-bat, he hits one toward left center field, and the guy can fly, obviously. And as it's going out toward the gap, and it can be a little tricky out there, I'm watching this gazelle run around first base, and I'm thinking to myself, he's going to try for third because that's the third leg of the cycle. What a day this would be. And I almost said it, if not for an 8-6-5 outfield assist put out that kept him this close from a triple 3 at-bats into a game. It would have been, it was the greatest day probably in baseball history, greatest individual achievement day in baseball history. And to think that it could have been better if not for an outfield assist.
Holy
crap.
You couldn't get any better. He still gets credit for a double, and he had 97 total bases yesterday. But it was fascinating. And the other part of this too was again, Dodgers went home after the game last night, so they had 6 games at Dodger Stadium. So he had homered in the 6th inning. So now he's at 49. He's already got the 50 stolen bases. He's at 49. And it's 9-3, I believe, when I brought this up. And I looked over at Tommy Hutton, a great analyst I worked with for this series. And I said, Hut, I hate to be a party pooper here, but given what the score is, and the Dodgers are going home for 6, I don't know if he'll get another at bat. And he says, yeah, that's a good call. I don't know. This was just after the 49th home run. And so now the 7th inning starts, and the Dodgers start to rally. And we show Shohei, and he's doing the thing with the batting gloves. And I'm thinking, well, I wonder, Hut, if he's going to get this at-bat. And he says, what, if it gets to his at-bat in this inning, I think he'll take the at-bat. If not, if the rally ends and he would be due up to start the 8th, maybe Dave Roberts takes him out. He probably wants the at-bat, but it's going to be up to Dave Roberts. Shows you what I know. When I said that in the 6th inning, not only did he take the 7th inning at-bat, this guy hit 2 more home runs. What do I know? What do I know? Good night, nurse.
Unreal. Listen, I gotta say, Case, I gotta tell you this one story because this is why I didn't realize that it was going to be against the Marlins. I didn't think about you, but then I heard the call. I'm like, that's Paul, and I have to go back before we let you go, Case. It is however many years ago. I'm at MLB Network. It's like a random afternoon. There's nothing going on in the sports world. And this new kid, Paul Severino, who was doing like digital ping pong highlights for ESPN, I swear, something really major happened. I don't remember what it was. And I have to run into the control room. And this new guy, Paul, has to run into the studio all by himself. Nobody's in the building. And we have to get Bob Costas on for something. I don't remember what it was. And we're going through the motions. Paul does a great job in whatever this news story was. And then we get in a break, and I'm like, hey, you got to say hi to Bob and tell him we'll be right with him. And this guy, Paul just goes with, hey, Bob, we'll be right with his Paul Severino, whatever. And I said to you, dude, I was like, did you ever think like a month ago that you'd be like, hey, Bobby Costas, chill out for a second. I got to get my traffic from the control room. Do you remember what that was? I do remember the time. And I was like, holy crap.
I remember that interaction and you being like, who is this guy? I don't remember the actual news story, but yes, I do. Well, yeah, there have been a few of those, like, pinch yourself moments where it's like, why do you act like an idiot like that? And I just wonder, yeah, what was I thinking? Like, for example, 2002, I'm an intern, and I'm in college. I must be a sophomore in college, going into my sophomore year, and it's the summer. And I grew up a Yankee fan, right? So we're covering the AA All-Star game in Norwich, and the manager was Louis Soho. So I'm getting sound for the news, and, whatever, hey, great, you're managing this game, blah, 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 fine. So hey, thanks, Louis, I appreciate that. And then I stop and I turn around and I go, hey, by the way, that was a huge hit in the 2000 World Series against the Mets. And then I slap him on the chest and I walk away. Who the hell are you, dude? What is the matter with you?
You're much more polished now, dude. You're good.
He probably loved it, Paulie. He probably loved it, man. Oh, man. Guys, you know what, dude? And like you said, you got your pinch yourself moment, last night with Shohei Ohtani, 6 for 6, 10 RBIs. We think your call was the best call out there, man, and what you said was incredible. How you did it, you couldn't have done it any better, man. 10 out of 10. And we appreciate you joining us today, man, inside the mayor's office to have a little insight with all our fans listening in. So thanks for joining us, Paul. You're the best, dude. You ever need anything from us, please let us know.
I've asked for enough favors from you guys already. I love you both. You guys are great, and for those that watch the show, they know you're great on camera and on air. You guys are 20 times better off the air. So I appreciate everything you've done. I appreciate your support. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Paulie. Finish strong, man. A couple of games to go. Man, incredible having Paulie on. Just one of the best in the business. And, hey, there's only 30 guys have those jobs in the world. 30. There's only 30 play-by-play guys. Paul Severino is one of them and got one of the greatest nights of Major League Baseball history to make that call with Ohtani. Like, Chinch, I hope we're all sitting back as fans and realizing what we're looking at. Because 50-50, only one guy's ever done it, and that's Shohei Ohtani. Because, we look at Acuna last year, 40-70, like 40-70. 50-50 is a different animal because that's 10 more homers. Like, you think about how hard it is to hit 50 homers. Look at Judgy right now. I mean, Judgy, you talk about 63. I think this with Shohei makes you appreciate 63 even more because you're like, wow, seems like this guy's hitting a homer every night. So, dude, we're looking at maybe the greatest player of all time. Literally, I mean, seriously, when it's all said and done. And I think the thing about it, he got $70 million a year for 10 years. He's not even pitching. The reason he got $70 million is because he's one of the best pitchers in the game. And I think one point to make on that is that I really believe, Chinch, this is a blessing that he blew out his UCL for the second time, because if he was pitching there's no way he gets 50 stolen bases, because if you look at his numbers, usually when you're pitching, you're trying to take care of your legs because you have to be out there on the bump every fifth day. He's not stealing 50 bags because he's trying to save his legs. So you're probably going to see 20 bags, 25 bags. You would never have seen 50 bags. We never would have seen this. So the fact that he has been hurt this year as a pitcher, I think is the only reason we're seeing 50-50. And he's about to be back. He could be pitching in the postseason, with what he's doing right now. So let's all step back and let's appreciate what Shohei Ohtani did this year, the unicorn that he is. And it's just an incredible feat. It's an absolute incredible feat. And you look at some of the stats. I look at this is incredible. Since the RBI became official in 1920, only one major league player has had, over the course of his entire career, same game or not, a game with 10-plus RBIs, a game with 6-plus hits, a game with 5 extra base hits, a game with 3-plus homers, and a game with 2-plus stolen bases. The only one player since 1920 is Shohei Ohtani.
But dude, how hard is it to do any of the things in a You were a professional baseball player. 6 hits in a game. How insane is that? Stolen base and a home run in the same game. How insane is that? 3 home runs in a game. How insane is that? This was the greatest game ever played in Major League Baseball.
Dude, I had 5 hits, I think 3 or 4 times. So hard to get 5 hits, dude. So hard. I mean, it's so hard. 6? Wow. That's incredible, dude. To get 2 homers in a game, so hard. 3? Come on. Almost had 4. Hit one off the top of the fence. Almost hit for the cycle, too. Right? And to steal a couple bases, dude, at least for me, it was really hard. I mean, I think over my career, I stole 18 bases, and I was like, yeah, baby. This guy just stole 32 more bases than I did in my career for the season. It's not easy to steal a base in the big leagues. So 2 bags, and dude, he also hit 2 doubles. That's what I mean. Like,
I know.
Hit 3 bombs, 2 doubles, all the whatever. I remember total bases that he had was incredible. It's incredible. It's almost a speechless game. For a player to do any of those one things in a game, you're like, man, great game. That's an incredible game. So
this was how incredible it was. I flipped over to the NFL game. If you're broadcasting an NFL game, you're not hearing about baseball. They talked for like 3 straight minutes about Shohei Ohtani on a Jets Thursday night football game where Aaron Rodgers was playing out of his mind. That's how global. I saw a CNN alert about Shohei Ohtani today. He transcends baseball. He is a global figure like Michael Jordan, and we'll leave it there because we can talk about him all day tomorrow too, or on Monday, whatever. We'll talk about him again. Dude, there's actual baseball going on.
Dude, hang on. Let's stay on Ohtani really quick. There's some more numbers here we should bring up.
Bring it.
He ended the day with 17 total bases, tied for 4th most in a game since 1901. Okay, it's the 7th time a batter had at least 17. Which is absolutely incredible. Kirk Gibson's the last guy to do it in 1995. When you look in the process, Ohtani became the Dodgers' all-time season home run leader. Sean Green had 49. So he's the all-time, think about the history of the Dodgers, all-time home run leader right there. Right? Which is absolutely incredible. It was Ohtani's 4th game this season with at least a home run and multiple stolen bases, tying Eric Davis, friend of the show, in 1987 for the 2nd most in a season since 1900.
Yeah, Eric Davis, by the way, who was considered one of the best athletes to ever play baseball.
And if Eric Davis didn't get hurt, he was the first. He almost, dude. You go back to his 1 year when he would have been the first 40-40 guy. I think he was 37-50 that year. 50 bags, 37 stolen bases. 37 home runs. Behind only Ricky Henderson in 86. So that's incredible. Let me see. There's one more good one. This is good. We know Ohtani's the first member of the 50-50 club, but he was already in a league of his own once he reached 43-43. So here's another way to put 50-50 in perspective. His 51 homers are the most in a 50-steal season in MLB history. The prior mark was 41 by Ronald Acuna last year. Similarly, his 51 stolen bases are the most in a 50-homer season. The prior record was 24, done by Willie Mays in 1955 and A-Rod in 2007. this guy is doing things we've never seen. You know, we haven't seen it in a long, long time. But obviously, the 50-50, we've never seen that.
Yeah.
And just incredible, man. It's just it's an incredible day. And like you said, you know, on the other note is we still have the baseball races going on right now, which I think is incredible too.
Yeah, it's a great year. I'm going to say one more thing. I think to me, if I'm the Dodgers and I'm Ohtani, I think he has proven, make him a closer. I don't want to see him not play not get an at bat in a game because he's pitching the next day. I think I would transition him to being a closer because he has proven that he might be the greatest hitter of all time. I don't know.
Not a bad thought, dude. Not a bad thought. I kind of I see what you're saying there.
Yeah, it's a thought that they should have this offseason. Anyway, all right.
And real quick, talk about impacting games. So if you're an elite closer and you close out 40 games, you know, that's elite. He could impact 40 games. You closing them out. Just come, hey, bring them in. You know, come on in and show how you pitch. You know, what's this 12-year-old travel all-star, dude? What are we doing?
He's like the best kid on your 12-year-old travel team. He's doing it in the Major League Baseball. That's exactly what he's doing. Anyway.
Exactly. He's Tim McGarvey of the 12-year-old travel team.
Great call. All right, so we got to do this a little bit here. Padres, Diamondbacks, Mets, Braves, all won. Good job, everybody. And I keep saying your Detroit, Sean Casey's
Detroit Tigers. They're all tied up, baby. 80 and 73. We got 9 games to go. They're tied with the Twins, man. Incredible. Let's go. We got some races, man. Also, one, you know, with the Mets being where they're at, that's incredible. They're tied with the Diamondbacks now, which is awesome. And Tigers right on the heels with Minnesota too. And it's a great race, man. Let's go.
We love this game, man. We love this game. This is where
best game in the world, man.
It really is. It really is. Hey, I'm going to the Mets game tonight. I was supposed to go. It was going to be me, Harold, and his kids, and Jess, and Harold bailed because they're putting him through the ringer at the network today.
Oh, they're like, Ohtani time. So Ohtani, they should have specials all day on this. I turned on the network last night, dude, because to watch it, and on the guide it had the natural was on. I was like, no way are they have the natural on, but they broke.
Can you imagine?
Obviously, they broke out of the natural into the Ohtani stuff. So.
Good move there, Kayaffa.
Yeah, baby Kayaffa.
Nice.
Oh my god.
All right, dude. Yeah, I'm going Mets Phillies tonight.
Dude, let's go Mets Phillies. Let's go, man. For Jess, let's go Mets, right?
Yeah, for Jess. I'm a Yankee fan. Look at what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a
I know, but you're a Mets fan now though too, because obviously they help the Chinchimino family.
It's good for business.
Good for business. Good for the brand, dude. The Chinchimino brand.
Yeah. All right. So thanks again to Paulie Severino for joining us. He's a good friend of ours, and Case, you're the best. And I'm so glad to do this show with you, man. Days like this, we woke up. It was like 7 a.m. We were like, what are we gonna do today? So
we were talking last night, right when it was happening. We're like, where are we going? What clip are we gonna do? We got to get on air here. And then we got Paulie to come on, and that's so great, dude. So what a day for the mayor's office. What a day for baseball. What a day for Paul Severino and the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani. Incredible. So thank you, Shohei Ohtani, for taking your skills here to the States and being one of the best players we've ever seen on both sides of the ball, which you don't see in Major League Baseball. It's just absolutely incredible. So, Chinchi, love you, brother. Everyone out there, thanks for listening. Have an incredible weekend. We'll see everybody on Monday. Let's go get it.